Welcome, everyone. It is October 17th, 2025. It is the 5th episode of Tour of Japan here on bodyslam.net. We're currently live on Twitch, Facebook, X, and YouTube, bringing you another episode of Tour of Japan. We have some Noah news to break down. Most of the show will be garnered towards one of the biggest New Japan shows of the year. King of Pro Wrestling had some pretty big title changes. We're going to break things down, look at, preview also the Junior Tag League for New Japan. Those teams were just announced as well this past week. The first match at the Tokyo Dome has also been announced. We're going to break down a lot of big news as well. My name is Max Dinenberg. I am joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, Blackhawk, as we're here on a Friday evening. The night before AEW gets Wrestle Dream going tomorrow night, which we'll be back for a post show tomorrow. We'll talk more about Wrestle Dream towards the end of this video here. But Blackhawk, how you doing on this Friday evening here?
Doing good. We're getting off of a weekend full of wrestling, going into another fun weekend full of wrestling. So yeah, I couldn't be happier.
So much wrestling. I don't think we ever get a break anymore. I feel like we used to. But there's just
so much wrestling.
So much wrestling. There's just no breaks anymore.
Yeah.
Which is, again, SmackDown will be on right as we are getting off the air. Yep. So always something to watch.
Also, Body Slam had some big news about SmackDown tonight over on the Patreon. If you haven't checked it out.
Yes. Please let me put that as a banner actually really quick. We have some breaking news on Patreon. We got some big news about someone who is backstage and should be in the ring tonight in a big over year-long return for the company, which is pretty exciting. Don't want to spoil that when you guys subscribe to our Patreon before you find some other people who broke that news. Before we get into some Noah news to kick off the show, just want to let everyone know, please, if you're watching on YouTube, and I already see one of you here, Mr. Bennett, thank you. I see you that you're on with us on YouTube.
Thank you.
Please hit that thumbs up button. Really help support the YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll see our live podcast there basically every night. Body Slam should have a live show going on. So please subscribe to our YouTube as well. Randy, I see that you're on Facebook. Thanks for joining us on Facebook. You can also hit that thumbs up button as well if you're over on Facebook. If you're on X, please retweet this video and share with all your friends. If any of your friends like pro wrestling, this is a great podcast for them, especially if you're just trying to get into Japanese pro wrestling. We're a great entry point, I think, for a lot of people breaking things down. And again, please, I already showed Bennett and Engel's comments. We're going to show your comments throughout the entire show. So if you have any thoughts on anything pro wrestling related, but obviously if it's more towards Japanese pro wrestling, any of these four companies, that would be obviously more ideal, but we're here to answer any and all questions. Helps the show get a good pace to it. So without further ado, Blackhawk, as we're 5 minutes in, what are your thoughts? Give some thoughts on some Noah news. I know you have some news you want to talk about to kick off the podcast today.
Yeah, so we have a little bit of Noah news. We're going to talk about Wrestle Odyssey in detail next week.
Got it. Yeah.
Because it wasn't available on Wrestle Universe until next week, want to give some other people some chances to see it. Because it was one of their few live events through Abema where you do have to pay for it. But we did have an event yesterday, and without going into too much detail, we do have a new champion from the event yesterday. Mm-hmm. Dragon Bane is now the GHC national champion, which is huge. He beat Galeno for that on Thursday. Mm-hmm. Another thing that they announced was the Noah Junior Grand Prix 25 with a laundry list of the Noah Juniors. Just about every Noah Junior is in it, including Hiromu Takahashi. He will be in the entire tournament.
Yep.
Which is very exciting. They also announced that on October 26th, Hank and Tank from NXT will be facing off against Alpha Wolf and Dragon Bane, which should be a banger. And then before we get we're getting close to a spoiler for Wrestle Odyssey, but Yoshiki Inamura is back with Pro Wrestling Noah and challenges the current GHC World Heavyweight Champion for a match, and says he wants to be Noah's captain, wants to be captain of the ship. So
there you go.
That's pretty much it. What we got for Noah, without going too much detail. Again, next week we'll cover Wrestle Odyssey, and we'll go into a little bit more detail of a few other events that followed that.
Yeah, that would be perfect because we don't have any New Japan shows until Thursday. So we'll break down night 1 of Super Junior Tag League. But as of now, that'll be a more Wrestle Odyssey Noah focused show. A lot that you danced around the spoilers quite well there. And I got nervous. You're like, he wanted to fight. He said the world champion. Like, ooh, good job.
Yeah, I did.
The person's name.
I was reading the tweet and I was like,
very impressive. Couldn't be more impressed with you. So this show will be now basically just covering some New Japan stuff. Stardom and Marigold are still kind of in their loops of not having much news for us to break down. Now, to be fair, Stardom does, because we kicked off the show with basically a Stardom match on this show. So we're going to break down King of Pro Wrestling. This took place on Monday night or Monday morning. Sorry, Monday night in Japan, Monday morning for everyone else in the States. We'll then break right after the show ended. They announced the teams for Super Junior Tag League, and we'll break down the teams who are favorites to win each block. We'll go from there. And we're also going to break down on this show that we basically off of this King of Pro Wrestling show, we finally got our first match announced for Wrestle Kingdom in the Tokyo Dome. Definitely, if you told me this was the match that would be announced first for Wrestle Kingdom, I would be shocked. But it did happen. Very early on. Wrestle Kingdom 20 already has one match set, so we
technically one match and one person set.
Tanahashi is set for the show. Yes.
Well, also,
Sayu Kawatani. That's right.
Yeah. So we got one match and two people set with no opponents yet. Yeah,
this is all very, very. We'll break down why they're doing this towards the end. So let's break down some of the big stuff that happened on this show. It did, as I said, we do also talk Stardom and Marigold. Basically a Stardom match. We had the IWGP Women's Championship on this show, and we had a title change. Shuri, who is, as I've talked about on this podcast since we started, probably my favorite Japanese performer right now, who's technically not in the States. She was supposed to debut for Ring of Honor AEW All-In Weekend. She had a video package at Super Card of Honor and then was in the All-In Gauntlet match. Got hurt in that, so it kind of took her away from the States. Goes back to Stardom, and she is the new IWGP Women's Champion over Sareee, who just also was wrestling for Ring of Honor for 2 weeks. This match I thought was phenomenal. Easily one of the best matches on this show. They gave him plenty of time, 15 minutes to work with here. The crowd was definitely not for Sareee. They were very pro Shuri on this show. And again, as someone who was a big fan of Shuri, I was really happy about this result. Shocked they did a full title change on a non-Stardom show, but I was very cool with it. And Shuri is the new IWGP Women's Champion. What did you think of Blackhawk of this match kicking off the show here?
I thought it was a great match to kick off the show. It was very exciting, very hard hitting, which is you expect from two of the top Joshi wrestlers in the world. So this was a fantastic start to this event. Really, really got me ready for the rest of the show. I will say I wanted Sareee to retain, but I'm okay with either result because I think they're both incredible and they'll both hold that title well, and both defend it well. Yeah. I just like Sareee just teensy bit more. So I'm not super disappointed, but incredible start to the show. I don't think they could have started this any better.
Yeah, and again, with New Japan shows, it sometimes takes a bit for crowds to get into it. That's why they usually do tag matches all day long until they get to the big matches. So starting off with a big title match, crowd was there, though, for this match, which was very good to see. Again, this match took place in Ryogoku Sumo Hall, one of the more famous arenas in Japanese pro wrestling. So we had Bullet Club winning a tag match. There's not much to really discuss there. We'll get to the unaffiliated and Bullet Club thing, which was a huge twist towards the end of the show that they're kind of becoming maybe one. We'll see. What Drill and Maloney beat Sonata. This was the street fight. Drill and Maloney thankfully went over in this match. He is getting a massive push. He went from being a junior heavyweight tag guy to being in the G1 this year for the first time. Now he's beating a former world champion in Sonata. Drillakilla is a top 2 or 3 finisher for me in pro wrestling. Like, no one should kick out of that move, and no one did in this match. But this had the usual. Now, to be fair, it was no DQ, so I didn't mind the House of Torture BS in this match. Clark Connors with the tire made the save in this match, but luckily the right guy went over. So any thoughts on this this blood feud between Maloney and Sonata?
I thought it was good. It was very interesting seeing him later on in the show with the head bandage.
Yeah,
Drill Maloney at least. The entrance from Sonata was hilarious.
He's getting very good with those now.
Yeah. That was hilarious. Honestly, it was so goofy that I forgot we were going into like a hardcore match.
Yeah, it was a hardcore match. Yes.
And he pulled out the fork, and I was like, "Whoa, oh, yeah."
It was early. It got bloody early in this match.
He pulled out the fork within 30 seconds. So I thought it was good. I've definitely seen better hardcore style matches, but I think both of them have a very strong future with New Japan if they choose to stay. You know, Drill is getting a push. I think we'll see him challenge for the global championship pretty soon.
Oh, I like that. See?
So I don't know with the, you know, we'll talk about the unaffiliated stuff later, but I don't know where they stand with all that. But I do believe that's kind of the direction they'll go in with him. I don't think they'll put him in the main event with the heavyweight championship anytime soon. Not anytime soon, but like
you're right, because
it might be like next year.
I think it's the first year since he's been in New Japan. Drill is not in the Super Junior Tag League with Clark Connors.
Yeah.
So maybe they go him and Finley for regular tag league, maybe.
Yeah.
Obviously they wouldn't win that, but still getting him on the tour, I think it makes sense. But I thought him going over made sense. We had Hiroki Goto's return. They won a quick, very surprised how quick this went, like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Quick 6-man tag. Goto, Yoshihashi, and Yo beat TMDK. Nothing really much to talk about. This match was just basically get rust off of Goto because his next big match will be the world title at the beginning of November, which makes sense. He lost the title injured, so him getting a title shot. I think many people thought Goto was getting a title match at Wrestle Kingdom. We'll talk about maybe why they're maybe doing Goto before Wrestle Kingdom, and we're not going to spoil. We'll break down as it goes on. The 5th match went to a draw. ELP defending his TV title against Tanahashi here. They clearly just had a blast with each other on this tour. The fake air guitar drums and Tanahashi throwing the guitar in the crowd and ELP looking depressed that the guitar is in the crowd. A really cool spot. ELP usually does the jump off the top ropes into the crowd. But Tanahashi, good for him, gets out of the way. And I almost had a heart attack for ELP because those chairs hurt. And he had because he's jumping over the guardrails. He has no good fall out of that situation unless he's jumping on someone. So when Tana was like, I'm not taking this spot, and he just falls on the chairs. I was like, oh my God. But
he said I'm too old for this.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely what he said. But the match shockingly ended in a draw. It looked like ELP had Tanahashi in a submission move. He didn't tap out as it was going. So they're more likely going to do this again. Now, I went to a draw because in the TV title matches, it's a 15-minute time limit. That's the specialness of that title. I'm shocked it went to a draw because that means they're definitely going to have to do this again. I don't think this is like Tanahashi's last guy he'll be wrestling. So I think ELP will beat him on another show before Wrestle Kingdom. But what are your thoughts on this going to a draw? Which means ELP, by the way, retained his title.
I thought, honestly, second best case scenario outside of ELP winning. Because we talked about last week, Tanahashi doesn't need a title belt going into his retirement. It's not necessary. I think a draw does well for Tanahashi because he doesn't take a loss, and ELP because he also doesn't take a loss. And they had a great match. ELP sold his knee like crazy. I don't know if he's like actually
earlier
hurt
in the match. Earlier in the match, he had a top rope crossbody to the outside, and he was selling like his knee was hurt. And I bought a ticket, like, oh god, I hope nothing's wrong.
Yeah.
That became the story of the match. So clearly, it was determined to have him. But yeah, you're right. He did a great job selling that.
Incredible job selling the knee. Like a spot where he was trying to get back into the ring, fell like 4 or 5 times. And towards the end, I was like, all right, man, come on. But the whole like build to getting up there, you almost thought he was going to get counted out. And they, Walker Shepherd and them talked about, how he lost the title in this arena by a count out before. And so I was like, ooh, we're either calling something back or we're getting real close to him losing the title again.
Yep. But that did not happen. LP is drawed, so he didn't tap out. We're going to get another match. I assume it's going to be at that big show where we're going to have a world title match. Maybe they'll do it on that show, which is not until first week of November. Let me just make sure I have the date right. But yeah, I was definitely shocked it went to a draw. That show is, the Hiroshi Tanahashi Final Homecoming show. But Tanahashi is not actually wrestling ELP. He's moving on to the global heavyweight title on that show. There's 2 matches. There's 3 matches booked. There'll be the Junior Tag League final, a world title match, and the global title match. And Tanahashi will be fighting the global heavyweight title, which we'll talk about in a second. So weird they're doing this and then not continuing. But that's also the point of the 15-minute time limit, which is it gives a champion's advantage. So I guess the draw means that's the point of the title. You have to beat the champion in 15 minutes. If not, you kind of lost. So let's move on to a depressing note. Note here, which is we all knew this nightmare would come, especially in the most House of Torture way possible. I absolutely hated the last 5 minutes of this match. Evil beats Bolton Oleg. He is the new never open weight champion. Every single member of House of Torture interfered in this match. Toriano, I guess, was like one. He was worth 10 people. He literally ran off the entire faction. But the end of the match, Evil was kind of beating up on Oleg after the match, and then a young lion stepped up. Aaron Wolf stepped up to the plate, and they don't just think that just highly of him to put him right away in a feud with Evil. This is the first match announced for Wrestle Kingdom 20 at the Tokyo Dome on January 4th. It is Aaron Wolf's debut match, and he'll be wrestling Evil. So what are your thoughts on this whole situation?
I thought the match was good with Bolton. I was very intrigued when they got all the young lions to take out the rest of House of Torture, because I've always wondered what the purpose of the young lions being out there is if they're not helping crowd control. And so seeing that was interesting, and I was like,
Also, before we go to the Aaron Wolf, I just want to say for people out there, he's not just a young lion. This guy is an Olympic medalist.
Correct. Yes.
This was a very highly touted signing for them.
Yes.
And they already announced that he was going to have a match at Wrestle Kingdom when he got signed. That was supposed to be his first big match. So, but let's go into the post match. Sorry.
Yeah. So, I thought the match itself was great outside of the, House of Torture interference. When it was just Evil and Bolton, I thought they worked really well together. It was really enjoyable. And then you get, House of Torture influence all over the place. I do believe that anybody who faces House of Torture now needs to bring a posse of their own.
That's what I say.
They just need to start grabbing people. Just be like, hey, bro, I got Evil tonight. I need about 15 of y'all to come out here with me.
Like, that's my point. Like, with House of Torture, like, it's one thing if they are doing this. For me, it's not the problem of like the faction. It's the problem of it makes the ref look really stupid and dumb that he doesn't realize that they're doing stuff. And then it makes the wrestlers who they're losing to look even more stupid that they don't have a plan in place and are shocked when there's interference. I think
It's like nobody's watching film. They're like, this happens every week. Like, are you not paying attention? Yeah. There's a website you can watch everything on.
That's my favorite part about my least favorite part and favorite part is when like WWE, right? For example, like I'm not knocking them. Every company has a mess up like this, but not a mess up, but something like this where the TV isn't like real life. Or like if Dom and Liv are a couple, really? So now Liv's off TV, which means Dom now doesn't talk to Liv Morgan now because she's off TV. Like in real life, they were a real couple. They would text and call and do things together.
They would talk all the time.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. There's things like that where people are not like, I love in wrestling where a wrestler goes, I watched the show. Like Eddie, I think Eddie Kingston even said that on Wednesday. Like, I watched the show. I heard what you guys said last week. I was like, yes, like sometimes these people just watch the show, Yeah.
It's like they're putting this out there. Why are you not paying attention to what's going on?
Yeah. So to move on to Aaron Wolf, this is a judo wrestler, gold medalist at the Tokyo Olympics in 2020. And a gold medalist in the World Championships in 2017. This is a big signing for them. Usually, NXT, we get these type of wrestlers. So now, to be fair to Aaron Wolf, if you look him up, he has a Japanese mother. So maybe him being around Japan. And his father actually teaches university in Japan. So they're clearly in Japan. So that might have helped, obviously, him want to work for New Japan. But since his signing, there's been not a lot of momentum for him other than him just having a match at Wrestle Kingdom. This is interesting, and I feel like they're going to go Aaron Wolf being put over at Wrestle Kingdom if they are in this direction. Because Aaron Wolf was the first athlete of U.S. descent to win the All Japan Judo Championships in 2019. I mean, this is one of the top judo wrestlers of all time, basically. He retired from judo competition in June of 2025. And then in June of 2025, he signed with New Japan. So what are your thoughts on him being his first match against Evil?
I think it speaks very highly to, how they think of him. Obviously he's been, they announced his signing and he'd get a match at Wrestle Kingdom. And then have kind of hidden him away so he can train. But usually, like the young lions, usually are at 2 years, aren't they?
Yeah. But they want him to go now, though. They do.
Yeah. They want him to go now, so they obviously see something special in him, which I think is great. Hopefully, that accumulates into an incredible Wrestle Kingdom match, an incredible debut for him.
Yes, I think it's good that they have this set in stone now because, again, it's his first match. So now you have 3 months, or 2 months with him and Evil can work together, really build the match.
Exactly.
Very well planned out because I don't think they're going to have Wolf. They want this to be his first match. So they're not going to have him on any of these tours doing these 6 or 8-man tags with House of Torture. They're going to put him in the ring for the first time in front of, and they keep saying, I think they've already gotten 30,000 tickets already for the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah,
so
they're almost sold out.
Yeah, which is great already, which means they're probably going to open more tickets especially if there's a main event that I think they might do.
During the TV title match, they kept talking about that. Like, Tanahashi, we're about to sell out the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah, every time he keeps jumping for a crossbody, like, don't get hurt, Tana. They keep being like, dude, let him be.
Please, no, please.
They're also making fun of his knees during the matches. I'm like, dude, we can make fun of him, but you're the announcers. This guy's your boss. What are we doing? But yes, I do love Walker Stewart in particular. I think he's really
that was great.
Let's talk now I can't believe I'm saying this 3 months into these guys being in, but probably the most over guy in the company right now, Yuto Ice and Oscar, retaining, not surprisingly, their tag titles against Yuya and Shota. They are the first IWGP tag champions to retain their titles this year. Every single one of the champions have lost the title on a first defense in 2025, which I think is a crazy statistic. But Yuto Ice is over. I mean, we'll talk about how over he is after the Gabe Kidd match, after I think the funniest part of the night happened with Suji and Yuto Ice after that match.
Yeah.
But the guy is over. Bullet Club is over, obviously, anyway. But those guys, Yuto Ice has really clicked with this audience. Really solid match. I'm a big fan of Yuto Ice and Oscar. It's just a different looking tag team. Like, you just don't see guys who probably if you look at them, probably you wouldn't think they're a tag team on the page, but they do just go together very well. So I'm very excited. Obviously happy they retained, made sense to retain. They just beat, even though Yuya and Shota are not a tag team for the most part. They're very two established guys in the company. So for them to already beat two big single stars in a tag title match, I think is also very good.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the match was really, really good. I love Ice and Oscar.
Yeah.
Every match I watch, I've become more of a fan of what they're doing, which I think is exactly what you want out of a tag team is, every match they just get better and better.
Yep.
I did find it interesting that nobody has won their first defense, which
crazy.
I think is a fine thing to do if they're defending often.
Yes.
If it's like bouncing and the tag division is hot and it's bouncing from team to team because each team is, at each other's throats and vying for the belts, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
But they aren't really like pushing hard for a tag division right now. And until this moment, it seems that like they don't really care about the two-man tag division. And so
the junior tag titles have gotten a lot more love on the last 2 months than the tag team titles. Yeah.
And so I hope that this will push, regular tag matches forward. And there will be some teams that kind of step up and say, we want to take on the Knockout Brothers. And maybe some teams that kind of stick around, say they lose, they kind of stick around and come back around to that after a couple more matches or whatever.
It's funny, and I don't usually talk about this with Japanese wrestling, but I think it's true with him. Ice feels like a guy made for American television because the way he communicates and his hands, and he's doing all of this the whole time. You'd think he is putting on a show for people who don't understand his language whatsoever, but he is made like, I feel like in the Io Sky did that, got over great with an American crowd.
Yeah.
I think him, if he ever transitions into American TV, would be very over because he just has something about him. It's a very Shinsuke Nakamura thing where Nakamura relied so much on the hand motions early on in his NXT run. And I think he's doing it, but again, this is his home. He can say whatever he wants Japanese-wise, and he's still doing all of the this thing the whole time. And I don't want to do the middle finger on air, but he does the middle finger in his hands the whole time. It's fun, man. He clearly has a good time, and I think you like wrestlers who are still serious. Like he still would F you up if you don't mess with them at the right time, but he still has a good time wrestling. So
he's like a swagger that's kind of been missing out of New Japan for a while.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like serious wrestlers that are very good at what they do, but you gotta have room for some guys. You gotta have some room for some guys who can bring sort of that swagger and bring a character in while also still being very serious about what they do.
Yeah. So I like that. We'll talk about him in just a second because let's talk about the double main event, which was 2 major title changes. Suji wins back the global heavyweight title against Gabe Kidd. Again, the feud's really been about how Gabe has basically left New Japan for AEW for a big chunk of time. And Gabe Kidd keeps saying, I am New Japan Pro Wrestling. I am New Japan Pro Wrestling. Suji, who's been there, grinds every time for New Japan. He gets the win. Now, again, this feud's been going on, feels like all year. So I just hope this is it for Suji and Gabe for at least another year or two. Great chemistry with each other.
Yes.
They do not mess around with the punches. Like the Suji transitions into like the kick up, pulling me down, the stomp. It's just so clean. This guy is made for the top bill. Already talked about he'll be facing Tanahashi for the global title at Hiroshi Tanahashi's final homecoming on November 2nd. So they're already moving on from this. After the match, Looks like the Bullet Club War Dogs and the unaffiliated, which is Shingo, Titan, Hiromu, Tsuji, were like kind of cool with Bullet Club. Like there wasn't like they joined Bullet Club. There was just they're cool with each other. So cool. They'll break down. A couple of them are teaming with each like Bullet Club isn't teaming with Bullet Club in the junior. We're having a combination of unaffiliated and Bullet Club in the Junior Tag League. Very interested in this direction. But before we go in that direction, Blackhawk, what did you think of Suge and Gabe in this match?
This was my favorite match of the night. Because it felt like they were going at it for the love of New Japan and not just for the championship. They alluded to it a lot. Just with their communication and the moves and everything. It felt much bigger than just a global championship match.
Yes.
And it honestly moved me. I was like, this is so good. I was out of my chair watching it. It was so good. Probably one of the best Gabe Kidd matches I think I've ever seen.
There you go.
And so I think it's big for the future of the company.
Yes.
I think it's big for the future of both wrestlers. Because as we get closer and closer to Tanahashi's retirement, there will be no ace of Japan or New Japan anymore.
Yeah.
So somebody has to fill that void.
Yes.
And so it feels like they both were fighting for the opportunity to fill that void. And I think, you said you don't want to see him for like a year. I think we'll see him sooner than that.
Okay.
I think once Tanahashi retires, I think there's going to be a lot of fighting between a lot of different guys to fill that gap that Tanahashi is leaving to be the next ace of New Japan. And Yoda Tsuji and Gabe Kidd are definitely on the short list for that. So I think we're in for a good time with them too, regardless of what we're doing. And then we get to the end of the match. They all shake hands. I really hope that the unaffiliated don't join Bullet Club.
Yeah, some of those guys don't fit with Bullet Club for sure.
Yeah. I think they're good as friends. Shouldn't
It's
marry
weird, though.
good as friends. I don't think it's that weird. Bullet Club, to me, recently has looked more like if they go off New Japan, they're heels, 100%.
Oh yeah.
But in New Japan, it seems like they're playing middle of the road.
No, they're over in New Japan.
Yeah.
The dogs are barking, as they say.
Yeah. They're definitely over. But as far as like good guy versus bad guy, they're playing in the middle of where, they're bad guys when facing, like TMDK or something like that.
Sure.
But when they're facing like House of Torture, they're the good guys.
Yes.
And so we see David Finlay in the post-show interview said that they want to work together and they need to work together to fight House of Torture. And so hopefully this is just a friendship, take care of House of Torture, and then maybe go their separate ways.
Big,
it's leading to something for sure.
Man, I'm trying to think. This is leading, I think, to someone in the unaffiliated maybe taking over the group and kicking out Finlay like a Wrestle Kingdom. Like it feels like this is going to set up a major heel or a leader change. Like if that's what it feels like
yeah,
it's going to be fascinating. They've never had like a Japanese guy run the group. Like would Tsuji run the group? I think we've been talking about Gabe running this group. Like I don't think Shingo or Hiromu feel like Bullet Club guys.
No.
But we haven't seen Tsuji do anything different since he's been in the company. Now, I think he's the next Tanahashi. Like, I don't think it's Shota. Yuya maybe feels like the next Tanahashi. I think him or Tsuji feel like the next guy who you can just count on. But I feel like when they did this, I was like, this is kind of weird if there's not a big payoff like if they just beat House of Torture and they just go back their own separate ways, that doesn't feel right. I feel like something big is gonna happen. I couldn't tell you what that's gonna be, but because I was shocked. And Suji, as I said, Suji and Yuto Ice doing like Suji wanting Yuto Ice to do the dance in front of him was very funny.
Yeah,
it was very funny.
One other thing before we get off of this topic, dealing with Gabe Kidd.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw this, but Mina Shafir tweeted a picture of Moxley and the crew. I don't know why I can't think of the
Death Riders.
The name. Yeah, Death Riders. Tweeted a picture of the Death Riders and tagged Gabe Kidd saying they were waiting for him. So doesn't really say anything after that. I was the only one I saw.
Is Gabe showing up tomorrow? Is that what that's saying or no?
I doubt that he shows up tomorrow.
But
I am very we might see it. I don't know.
I don't think they need him for that.
No, I mean it's just what is this? Oh, they're doing I mean they've got Moxley and Darby, but the rest of the Death Riders are on the pre-show.
Yeah, I meant like for the main, like I think it's it's a no DQ match. They'll have people beating up Darby with Gabe and Darby. I mean, to be fair, right? Darby basically wrote Gabe off TV with him. That's not a done. But I still think we'll talk about Wrestle Dream. I think towards the end of I want to do like a quick preview predictions for Wrestle Dream at the end of our video today. So we'll save it. Let's move on to the main event, which is what we really want to talk about. We knew this day would happen, but boy, was it just as satisfying when it happened. To see, first of all of wrestling Twitter celebrate this moment was really cool as well. Konosuke Takeshita has won the IWGP World Heavyweight title off of Zack Sabre Jr. 30-minute match. I don't think it was better than the second one in the G1. I still thought it was very good, on par with the first one in the G1, but I don't think it was as good as the G1 semifinal match. Great match. But I've seen it before, so it's tough for me to feel, unless it was like unbelievable. It just felt like another Sabre, which again, I'm all here for Zack Sabre wrestling Konosuke Takeshita. But it is just an exciting turn for the company, putting it in the hands of Takeshita, who is signed to 3 different companies. They just announced he'll be doing a lot of dates for DDT in November. He's obviously going to defend the title against Goto in the beginning of November as well. He's fighting for the AEW tag titles tomorrow. They're setting up a monster feud with Okada. And this guy is just riding the good wave at the moment. But I love Zach, but he was the perfect transition from a Goto injury to setting up Takeshita winning the title. So what were your thoughts, Blackhawk, on this ending to the show?
Yeah, that was a good match. I am not a huge technical wrestling guy.
Okay.
I prefer big fellas hitting each other.
Yeah.
And we got some of that in this match. We also got a lot of rolling around the mat, which is also fine.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited for the future with Takeshita. He's already talked about taking the belt to DDT. He's doing a few events in the near future. I don't remember the dates. But he is confirmed. I know it's like
mid-November, I think.
Yeah, he is confirmed for a handful of dates for DDT with the championship. Yeah. So we'll probably see the championship Saturday at Wrestle Dream.
They better.
So I think this. Yeah, I hope so. If they don't, it's a.
To be fair, they could not shut up about it on Dynamite. They were talking about it a lot on Dynamite. So
I feel like we'll see it, but I think allowing him to bring that with him on these other shows is only going to promote New Japan more, which I think is great. And so I think this is best case scenario right now for New Japan. I saw a lot of people that were upset about it as well because he's not like a New Japan faithful.
Sure.
Which I can also understand, but I think this would be big for New Japan right now. I think moving forward,
if you're a purist, I totally understand. Like I do, especially like for example, like Gabe also was basically doing AEW for 2 months straight without doing New Japan. I get it. I think it is a different time though, where just all these companies are working together, and these guys are just not. if you're in a pro wrestling company, it's rare for you to just be working for one brand at the moment. Like you're usually doing a lot of other things. So I get it though from a purist perspective, but I think it's good. I think it's exciting. Let's talk about. So he's fighting Goto November 2nd. I think he's obviously going to win that match and retain the title. Yeah. Because Goto said he wanted it. Sorry, Takeshita said the whole story is Takeshita once again in the post match says before I go to the Tokyo Dome, I want a title defense under my belt. So that is where we leave off now, talking about the future of this title in the Tokyo Dome. After the Goto match, they'll basically have 2 months to set up a main event for the Tokyo Dome. So
a lot of time, a lot of events in between there.
I'm having a gut feeling they're going to do Okada at World's End, is what I feel like for AEW. I think if AEW is doing the match, I think they wanted to do it first on their turf. Now, it's not like a Kenny Omega Ospreay thing where Kenny and Ospreay wrestle each other at the Tokyo Dome first, then they did the match at Forbidden Door. You know what I mean? I think they want to reverse it this time and do the first match which is going to be interesting. The question is, will they get Okada at the Tokyo Dome? I think is the question we're all asking, because Okada is not hinting at ever going back to Japan anytime soon. Okada is not really mentioned on New Japan TV. Takeshita doesn't call him out or anything. It was funny on Dynamite where Takeshita doing this video for Don Callis on his birthday, and Okada shuts the TV off as Takesha's giving this thank you to Don Callis. Very funny. He's like, I don't understand what I'm doing with the remote or whatever. But we all know Okada knows what he's doing with the remote. I am really like everyone, the fact that we're all excited on which show or shows this is happening on, I don't think they're doing this at Full Gear, which is November. I think they're going to do this at World's End or the Tokyo Dome.
This definitely feels like a December thing. Like if they're going to pull the trigger on it, especially with AEW, it's going to be in December.
I agree. It's weird. When Tsuji won, I was kind of shocked. I actually thought Tsuji and Takeshita would be a banger of a main event of a Tokyo Dome.
Yeah.
Tsuji won't be doing that because he's going to be defending his title on that show.
Yeah.
Are there people on the Japan roster you feel like need to be put into a spot where obviously I don't think they're going to go with another young guy. Like I don't think Uemura is going to get a shot, and I don't think obviously they're not going to give Umino another shot. I feel like it needs to be an established guy getting its world title shot, and it just feels like it needs to be Okada at this point. But I just don't know what they're doing with that. You know,
if it's not Okada, the only person I could see out of the New Japan roster that they might put in that spot would be Shingo, because they've been kind of quietly pushing Shingo to the front of the line. I feel like recently,
he had a few
featuring him a lot, and had a feud with Gabe Kidd, and he had a really good match with Goto before Goto gave up the title. I think because Shingo's story is, he wants to win this title outside of the pandemic.
Okay.
And so he wants to win it with fans. And so I think we'll probably see a push. We might see a push for that for the Tokyo Dome if, things with Okada don't quite work out. Because you could still do Okada with AEW almost at any time.
Yes, anytime.
And so, if they can't get pieces in place on time for the Tokyo Dome, I think Shingo's a really good option for Takeshita.
Yeah. All right. That is it for King of Pro Wrestling. Let's break down Super Junior Tag League, as we kind of have like 5 or 10 minutes left we'll have here on the show. So this year we have 12 teams, 6 in each block. We talked about how weird it is now. We have Bullet Club guys teaming up with unaffiliated guys in this tournament. So A block, we have Rusuke Taguchi with Dragon Daya. We have Yo teaming with Master Wato. We have Hiromu and Gato. What? No Hiromu and Teton, which I was like shocked. I was like, wow. Why? First of all, why is Gato doing a whole freaking tag league?
Gonna book himself to win the tag league.
He's certainly trying to. No, he won't. He won't. Him and Hiromu are not winning this tournament.
No.
You have Clark Connors teaming with Daiki Nagai, who is a young lion, but in the unaffiliated, which I think is really funny. Templario and Jacob Austin Young, they are United Empire. And then you have Doki and Sho, who obviously are the tag team champions. And obviously, they're not going to win this because we need a challenger for Wrestle Kingdom. B Block, we have El Desperado and Kuakai, who just had a title shot against Sho and Desperado. Oh, sorry, Doki and Sho. We have Tiger Mask. Love seeing Tiger Mask. He's also retiring next year. So this is his last, it could be his second to last Super Junior, but and Yamato. Kushida back in New Japan, which is always good to see. Usually he teams up with Kevin Knight, but Kevin Knight is obviously an AEW guy now. So he's teaming up with Yuki Yoshioka. We have Robbie Eagles and Fujita from TMDK. They also just had a title match, I think, a month ago for the tag titles. Yeah. Taiji Ishimori and Robbie X, finally a United Boa Club team in this tournament. And Yoshinobu Karamaru and Dick Togo. Dick Togo and Gato are in the tag league. Is that necessary? Really? They really had this tournament might not go great. I mean, first of all, these matches are going to be short with Dick Togo and Gato in these matches, right? Have to be short. So, any inkling on who you're feeling? Again, this tournament starts on Thursday. It starts. Any favorites you have winning this tournament and when you want to see win the tournament or at least be in the finals here?
I would love to see the United Empire pick up some wins after the kind of rough year they've had this year. I think it would feel good and make me feel like, we're not losing the United Empire altogether.
Sure.
But other than that, I'm just kind of excited to see what transpires. We got a lot of new teams in here that have not.
A lot of new teams.
A lot of new teams. So I don't really even know what to think about a lot of them. So I'm pretty excited about it. I think this is going to be really good. I can't wait to see, what they pull out. I'm rooting for United Empire because they desperately need a win this year.
I hope
on something.
I do hope Akira is good in time for Super Tag League, where hopefully they can get him and TJP back together. Catch 22. I hope they get them back together. But I don't know. Robbie X and Taiji. Robbie X really has impressed a lot of people who just saw him for the first time this year. Him and Taiji would be an interesting team. We're already they're fighting on Thursday against Dick Togo and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Obviously, Gato and Hiromu are not winning this tournament. Clark Connors is not winning this with Daiki Nagai. Obviously, Dick Togo is not winning, and Kanemaru are not winning this tournament. It's interesting because I think, for me, I want Fujita fighting for the junior title at Tokyo Dome, not tag. Last year, they did, I think, a ladder match to start the show, if not mistaken, last year. And I love Fujita. That was it. It was a ladder match because it was TJP and Akira. It was Kevin Knight and Kushida, and it was Fujita and Robbie Eagles. So I don't want, I want Kosei Fujita fighting for the junior heavyweight men's singles title, not the tag. Wado and Yo make a lot of sense to win this as well.
Another sleeper, El Desperado and Huakai? Is that how you say it?
Could do that. Because again, how else now? You just had Desperado lose the title to Doki, so are you gonna do Despy? Despy probably needs to be on the show, and I mean they obviously could do that gauntlet thing to kick off the pre-show at the Tokyo Dome, but it's gonna be an interesting Super Junior Tag League. There's definitely some new teams. Again, the Tag League goes through October 23rd, which again is this Thursday. And it ends the title match. The final match takes place on that homecoming show on November 2nd. So it's basically a 2-week tournament. Mm-hmm. They're wrestling basically every day. Yeah, they're wrestling 4 straight nights to start, Thursday through Sunday. They're starting at Cork and Hall the first 2. And then they're off Monday, then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, off Friday, wrestle Saturday, Sunday. So it is a lot of – we don't get days off when you get these tournaments going on. And then right after that is another tag league as well. So, and I love tag team wrestling, so I'm always very excited for.
Yeah,
this.
and then Noah starts at the end of that same week that New Japan's ends.
Look at that. We're
So
all in
the
tournament
Super
mode.
Junior, yeah, Super Junior Tag League will end, and then that Friday/Saturday, because the 8th Saturday, we'll start the Noah Junior Grand Prix. And that'll go through November 21st.
Yeah, we're gonna be in tournament mode. We are,
Yep.
which is exciting. Don't worry, we're gonna talk more Stardom and Marigold as we go on. We talk Stardom really basically that big title change to start King of Pro Wrestling, but I enjoyed King of Pro Wrestling a lot. I don't think it's one of the best shows they've done this year, but I thought it was still it was a very noteworthy show. And I think it wasn't just noteworthy for noteworthy's sake. They had some improvement. It finally saw, if it was the first time you could finally see the Tokyo Dome as a real destination for the first time in this build. So now they're going to really go full steam ahead, build some story. Well, they're going to take a mini break, take basically a week, 2 weeks off from the main guys, go to the tag league, and then resume things on November 2nd. Don't worry, we'll break down Super Junior Tag League every week on this. Next week we'll only have 2 episodes in. We'll break down the first 2 nights of Super Junior Tag League next week. We'll break down Wrestle Odyssey next week as well. So pretty jam-packed episode. If Stardom and Marigold have any news, we'll break down so their shows. WWE doing a tour in Japan, which is on tonight as well. Obviously, they're not it's not televised.
Not live. Yeah.
Nakamura got a huge pop tonight, earlier this morning in Japan. AJ Styles wore a Japanese-style mask in his entrance today.
Yep.
Must be very cool for some of those guys going back to Japan. SmackDown is on tonight. Tomorrow is Wrestle Dream. I think we did this for Crown Jewel. We did our predictions for that show. We'll do it. Let's end the show doing some Wrestle Dream predictions. Blackhawk.
All right. Let me pull up the card real quick because I don't remember.
I'm pulling it up. Well, I can read it off. And we can go through if you want. So the pre-show, which starts at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. I also want to say, as of now, even if Blackhawk cannot make it, there will be an AEW Wrestle Dream post-show tomorrow night, probably on Sunday morning, because it'll be probably 12:30 in the morning or something when we start that. But we will have a post-show breaking down every match of Wrestle Dream. So we have FTR versus Jet Speed. I think FTR is it was weird because FTR and Megan Bayne did win that mixed trios match.
Yeah.
I'll go Jet Speed, mix it up.
Yeah, I think Jet Speed wins this one too. Especially since it's a pre-show match. I feel like the way they kind of book the pre-show matches are very interesting.
Yeah.
Where they have usually the fan favorites will win on the pre-show.
Yeah.
Because it's getting the crowd hyped up, ready for the show. And I feel like Jet Speed is definitely a fan favorite right now. Obviously FTR is a beloved tag team.
Oh yeah.
But I think Jet Speed has the hearts of the crowd at the moment.
Then we have Eddie Kingston and Hook against TBD. I don't know what that is. Probably just going to be LFI, if I had to guess for some reason.
Yeah.
They've been feuding with LFI. Eddie Kingston's return has not gone the greatest so far.
No.
Momentum-wise. Harley Cameron and Willow versus Megan and Penelope. I want Megan and Penelope to really win the tag titles, but Megan beat Harley on Collision on Wednesday. I think they're going to pin Penelope here and give Willow and Harley a win. Do you disagree with that?
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Yeah, I think
Megan Bayne, one of my favorite performers in the world right now.
Yeah, so. Megan Bayne's incredible. And I think Willow Nightingale will probably pin Penelope Ford. That's my prediction.
Yep. And then we have Conglomeration Death Riders. I think Death Riders needed this win, setting up Moxley later on the show. Get a big win for the Death Riders, make them feel a bigger threat that they're going to impact the Darby Moxley match, I think. It makes sense. Let's move on to the main show. Hurt Syndicate again against the Demand. This is a Tornado Trios match. They have already wrestled twice. The Demand won at All Out in just a straight up 6-man.
Yeah.
Hurt Syndicate won a street fight on the Daily's Place Dynamite Homecoming show. I feel like we're going to get a big swerve and a new member of Hurt Syndicate on this show.
Yeah.
And I think that means they beat the demand.
Yeah, I agree because like I love MVP, but he's not going to be wrestling trios matches
No.
forever. So they've got to find another member. So yeah, I think they debut somebody, the Cedric Alexander.
Maybe.
His TNA contract is up now. So
They can do it if they want to. There is just the only thing holding that back is obviously the history with his wife in AEW that did not end well. So who knows? But we have Jamie.
That's something that can be fixed. So
very cool. Yeah, of course it could.
Yeah.
No, as of now, Mercedes does not have a match on this show.
Right.
She did say on Dynamite that she is going to be at the show. So I don't know if there'll be a backstage thing or whatever. But as of now, there's no match. So we have Jamie Hayter and Tekla. Oh, man, this is a tough one to call. I want Tekla to win. So I am going to pick Tekla. Her promo work has been awesome. I think people keep being shocked how good she is. She's very good. This feud is setting up the first women's Blood and Guts taking place November 12th. So Hayter's probably, and it's going to be Hayter and Tekla leading those girls into that match. Excited for this match. I want Tekla. I couldn't tell you who's going to win, so I'm just going to pick Tekla for now.
I am on the other side of that. I think Jamie Hayter's going to win.
Yeah.
I think that whoever wins this match, I think will be moving on to Mercedes at some point soon.
Oh, so that's why I think
I do agree.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I think I do agree with you. I think they're setting up for Blood and Guts. I think they will be the captains of these teams. But when that's said and done, I think that the winner of this match moves on to Mercedes.
We have Brodito defending the tag titles against Okada and Takeshita. This is after they had a double Jeopardy tag match at Daly's Place. And I do think, Bandito, the whole story is his shoulder popping out of the CMLL show. He's been selling his shoulder a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I still think Brodito is going to retain. I think Takeshita and Okada are going to screw each other over, either on purpose or by accident. Yes, could they have them win the titles, and that's an excuse to keep them away from each other in ring, but I still think they're going to really set the pace for them to be feuding for each other on this show. So I think Brodito will retain.
Yeah, I think Brodito will win. I hope Brodito will win. But I think if they decide to go with Takeshita and Okada, I believe that they'll just be fighting the entire time that they're tag champions. I don't think they'll hold it long. And it could be a reason to, break them apart from each other and have a singles match.
I think they already have titles. In my opinion, they already have titles. I don't need to with more titles. I don't at this point.
Yeah.
Especially Takeshita, he would have 3 titles. Or no, 2 titles. But Okada 2, Takeshita would have 2. I don't really need that. Jurassic Express, Young Bucks, $500,000 match because the Bucks need that dough, man. The Bucks need that dough. But guess what? They're not going to get it. I think Jungle Jack Perry, and Luchasaurus need this win. First big match. And Moxley's here. You missed us talking about.
You missed the entire New Japan portion.
Yeah, we're talking about Wrestle Dream now, but you missed us talking about Evil with the shenanigans becoming House of Torture. You missed our whole rant on House of Torture. I mean, even Blackhawk is on my side about this. So I don't know. House of Torture ups. You know what? Now it's unaffiliated and Boa Club against House of Torture. I feel pretty good about those boys doing some damage against House of Torture.
Yeah, I agree.
We're stealing all the belts. I mean, right now you are, which is sad. I mean, and you are in House of Torture based on your comments, Moxley.
Yeah.
I think Jurassic Express are going to win this match. This is one of the easier matches to predict. The Bucks are going to keep being bums for now.
Yeah, I think the whole bum Bucks thing works so well for them. I don't expect them to change it anytime soon. They're getting a lot of good reactions and a lot of good content out of them being broke. And so I think that's, they're making more money being broke probably than they are just being the Young Bucks.
Yeah. We have Statlander and Tony Storm for the women's title. I think that's another easy one to pick.
Yep.
We have, I think Statlander is going to get her first big win as champion. She defeats Tony Storm. And the interesting story here is, where does Tony Storm go, losing clean in a singles match for the title? She says, I'm nothing without this title. I think that's the story to tell after this match. Statlander can move on to something else, which I think could be Tekla if she beats Jamie Hayter. But what do you think? Stat retaining here?
Yeah, I think Stat will retain, and Tony Storm will kind of have a breakdown, so to say. You know, she's already kind of lost it, so to speak, compared to the rest of the women's roster. A little crazy. But I think she will have a full meltdown, and I think she's due for a break. 100%.
Tony, for sure.
She deserves a break. And so I think she'll take a break and come back a couple months with a brand new version of Tony Storm.
I do not disagree with you. We have Hangman defending the world title against Samoa Joe. Hangman's going to retain. Fun match. They've done a better job with the story with this match. At first, I was like, this doesn't really make a lot of sense. But then they got that big promo at Daly's place, and I was like, this is some really good stuff. Hangman's going to retain this match. And Joe will keep the trios title, and we need more storylines with the trios title to this point. So
yeah, I agree.
So yeah,
I love the idea of trios titles. I think it's fantastic.
Yep.
Because I love tag matches and I love trios matches. I just wish AEW put a little bit of stock into it, because it's like they've got
STP doesn't do anything with those titles.
Yeah, so. Yeah, they've got like the ability to make trios matches. They just aren't really doing it.
Moxley, to be fair to him, he did win the world title a year ago.
Yeah, I think he's got another run in him.
You think?
I think so. I think Hangman right now is just their guy. That's just the hero.
You gotta ride with him right now.
Yeah, and I think right now they don't. Samoa, as much as I love Samoa Joe, he's not the guy to beat Hangman this time around. But I believe we will get Samoa Joe as champion one more time before he retires.
Moxley, so am I. Lee Moriarty is my most underrated performer in the world, and STP have done nothing since I think they were setting up them in Skyflight a week ago, and nothing happened on Ring of Honor Dynamite this week, setting that up more. So don't know when they'll do that match. I think this is main eventing the show. Lee's your favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
I love Lee. I saw him wrestle twice in 2 or 3 times in person at the Philadelphia shows. Guy's awesome. Very, very good. Moxley and Darby, I think, is going to main event the show. I would be shocked if they're not.
I would hope. What they sound like they're going to do, this has to go last.
Who knows what's going to happen? What I do know is I think this will be the catalyst for the fall of the Death Riders. The setup for the fall of the Death Riders, which I think will fully take place at Blood and Guts. But Darby's going to make Jon Moxley say, I quit. The Death Riders are going to question him. And they're going to give him one more shot. And that will be at Blood and Guts. Team AEW versus the Death Riders. I think Team AEW is going to win.
Yeah.
And I think that will be the end. Even though it's really funny, Moxley got so much crap at the beginning of this year. He is the most interesting character on this show, in my opinion.
Agreed.
His work is good.
100%.
Promos are good. The matches are excellent. He's really proved a lot of people wrong. Steven Claudio takes over. He doesn't feel like the leader of the group, though. I don't know. I don't think there should be a Death Riders if Moxley's not doing it. You know what I mean? It's tough. Without Bryan and Moxley, you don't really have a clear-cut leader for that group. But I think Darby's going to win. He'll make Moxley say, I quit.
Crazy idea.
Somehow, some way.
Gabe Kidd.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he's the one that leaves.
Oh, yeah?
Club, and he goes, not full-time AEW, but he does join the Death Riders as maybe a second in command or something like that. I could see it. Yeah.
That's on him. That's his schedule. If he is very committed to New Japan, so I'd be shocked if he's going to take over the #1 faction in AEW. But I don't dislike that. I mean, because again, like Garcia, Pac, Claudio, these are not in Yuta. These are, I mean, maybe Yuta, but these are just not leaders of a group at this point. I think Danielson and Yuta is a match they need to do in the next like 6 months to a year. What if the War Dogs made a handshake deal with the Death Riders? They have to explain it. If Gabe has to explain what he's doing with both companies. Sometimes I hate when companies have partnerships and characters act completely different or disregard stuff on the other TV show. Like, you guys, you're the same character. You're just going on a different show.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I hope they explain that. If it's a good idea, though.
I wouldn't even hate just like a handshake deal where they're like sending representatives almost just like it's like NATO. They're just like Gabe goes to AEW and then they send like a Claudio over or something to fight with the War Dogs. But I think there's something in between both of them.
There's going to be something big. I just hope they don't die. I hope I'm not talking about a death on Sunday morning when I'm breaking down the show, because we've already seen a Molotov cocktail almost used. Probably will be used on the, I mean, I don't know how Moxley will say I quit. It will have to be something so crazy he quits. I'm very nervous. It's going to be insanely bloody. They have Gato, Suji, and Claudio kill Darby. No. First of all, Suji would never be involved in such a thing either. And no offense, the last thing people want to see is Gato on the show and I like Gato, but no one wants to see him on the show on Saturday, tomorrow night. Gato and Suji.
He comes out in his little hat and just starts stroking his beard, and
Gato, Suji, and Claudio are in 3 completely different groups. I know Gato and Suji are kind of together now for the time being. I mean, Gato's teaming with Hiromu, but give the guy, he needs to rest up for this. This is a hard tag league, and Gato needs to be wrestling. He's wrestling like 8 times in 10 days. Let's just let him rest. Let him chill in Japan and get ready for this tag league. We don't need him flying across and then being dazed already before one match of tag league. I mean, for God's sake, he's not a young fella, you know? So he also has to book. Let's have him just book New Japan and focus on New Japan at this point, because maybe that's what Gato. You're such a Gato fan because he bucks House of Torture. Is that right, Moxley? Is that why you're such a Gato? I mean, I'm a Gato guy too, as someone who's a Bullet Club guy. But Gabe Kidd taking over the group. I don't think we were do that because I think you want to end the show. Him and Hiromu will be scoring 2 points. That would be lucky if they win a match. I mean, if they win a match, it'll probably be against Dick Togo and kind of more. No, they're in separate blocks, I think. And they are not the final block. Those are not the finals. If Hiromu, Gato versus Dick Togo and Yoshinobu Kanemaru is the finals of the Junior Tag League, I might postpone this podcast a week or 2 if that happens. It's not going to happen. We'll be okay. 2 points at the most. I think you're probably right. So that's Wrestle Dream.
We missed a match.
Did I? What did I miss?
Yeah. Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe.
Oh, Fletcher and Briscoe. Sorry. Fletcher's going to win that match. 5th time to do it. Yeah. I saw that match live at, what's the pay-per-view I went to? The one where Swerve lost the title match. What was that called? Dynasty. Excuse me. I saw that match at Dynasty this year. A whole House of Torture final. That better not, dude. That better not. Unless someone lays down for a pin, you know.
House of Torture final, and then they go on to face House of Torture at.
They're the champions too. We don't need that. We don't need that. What were you saying? Fletcher's going to retain against Briscoe.
Yeah, 100%.
So not. Yeah, sorry, I did miss that match. Blackhawk. This is our longest podcast we did together, which is good. We had a lot to talk about today. By the way, we're over 600 people. Just want to say that is really awesome for a podcast at 7:00 on a Friday night. This is definitely the most amount of people we've had watching the show. So thanks everyone for tuning in. And I've seen the viewership. We've had people on every platform watch the show today. So thank you guys so much. Blackhawk, where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on every social media website at Blackhawk Walker, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all of them. You can find me at that username.
And I just want to say too, of Blackhawk, we want to thank Blackhawk because he posts all of the clips from all of the podcasts and reviews on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter for BlindSlam.net. So thank you, Blackhawk, because every time you've seen clips on social media from any of the reviews or shows, he'll have clips from this podcast up probably soon as well. That's all Blackhawk. Just want to thank Blackhawk before I go to my stuff as well, because Blackhawk doesn't just host Tour of Japan. He does a lot of things for BodySlam.net. You can find me at Dinenberg Max on Twitter, Max Dinenberg on Instagram, Max Talks Movies on TikTok. For BodySlam.net, every single weekday night, basically, or really for the most part, 6 nights in the week, I do highs and lows for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Collision, and Dynamite. And tomorrow, and that goes on BodySlam's TikTok and Instagram and Twitter account. And then tomorrow night, I'll be hosting the AEW Wrestle Dream post show. As of now, Blackhawk is good to go for that. If not, I'll be joined by somebody else. But right now, the plan is for Blackhawk and I, in the wee hours of the morning, probably until 1:32 in the morning, breaking down AEW Wrestle Dream. So please tune in, guys, tomorrow night around. Hopefully it's not 12:30, but it probably will be. But it'll be sometime Sunday morning. Blackhawk and I will be breaking down Wrestle Dream. I also do all the post shows for WWE PLEs with Rami. So we do a ton for BodySlam. So please support BodySlam. Go to Patreon right now. Subscribe to our Patreon. We have breaking news basically every day. Corey Hayes broke some huge news last week regarding WWE ID NXT releases. Today, he broke the news backstage on the Patreon of someone who will be returning to SmackDown tonight, who is primed to be his first singles match in probably like 15 months. He'll be on the show wrestling tonight. Corey Hayes broke that. If you want to help support and make sure everyone at BodySlam gets paid, Patreon's how you support us. There you go. Moxley, thanks. I just want to say, I know we disagree on everything. I just want to say thanks for joining us in the comments. We also had Cordarius Bennett. Thank you so much for joining us on YouTube. Randy on Facebook. And Moxley is always on Twitch. Really appreciate you guys supporting us. We are here with Tour of Japan every single Friday, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, every single Friday night here on BodySlam. So if you're on Twitter, repost, share. If you're on Twitch and Facebook and YouTube, hit that like button as well. If you're watching a replay, leave your comments. What were your favorite matches of King of Pro Wrestling? Next week, we're going to break down Wrestle Odyssey, Super Junior Tag League, among and other breaking news in the world of Japanese pro wrestling. So for Blackhawk, I am Max Dinenberg. Thanks for joining us on another episode